Emergency. Emergency, Jedediah. Love you to death, baby. But what have you done? What have you done? Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I've been along this thing, I want to say all the way, but not really. Not really. I can't say I came in at the beginning of this self political career. I came in when the block got real hot in Chicago. Okay, Thornton and Dalton. Okay, like this, yeah, it sound like some Whoville stuff, don't it? Yeah. And I've been following this train, semi-involved along the way. So I know without a shadow of a doubt that Tiffany Henyard belongs in prison. Maybe, but we gonna just stop at prison, right? Some may say worse. Some may say with no heartbeat. Can you blame them? That is an evil, vile, heartless critter. I love the work that was put in against her from many people. And it was not easy. A lot was lost. A lot was lost. A lot was lost. Y'all didn't get what y'all deserved, but you got her up out of there. And shout out to Jedediah Brown for all his help. I remember us wanting to get him there, and I remember when he got on a case. Woo! It got fired up then, didn't it? Ooh. And it still was not easy. If y'all don't know about Tiffany Henyard and you live in Georgia, you better get on it. If you ain't done nothing else, you better get on it. Now, I'm going to show you some stuff. Hit the like. Who is that one? Is it you, Tiff? Bitch, you, Georgia, politics? No. I'm happy y'all got her ass up out of Chicago. But why did you come here, Tiff? Huh? Oh, what's the next best ghetto ratchet? Oh, you thought. Now, I hear tell is Fulton County. Heard that from Jedediah. We can find out. And you know, why Fulton County? Oh, gosh. Isn't that supposed to be pretty much the most corrupt? That's telling y'all a lot about your county, Fulton. And if there's anything about your city government that you don't like now, oh, it's going to be 1,000 times worse if you let that heifer in. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I will walk to the ends of the earth to make sure that don't happen. You can't come here, boo-boo. You can pack it up and move it somewhere else. They evicted you where you was at in Chicago. I don't know. I don't care. And don't come type it in my chat about her father, that bullshit. I don't care about none of that either. Maybe they was trying to get her. And that was the first thing they came across. That's that. And they said they'd be back later for her. I don't know. We here to talk about Tiffany Henyard is not welcome in politics in Georgia. I don't care what county, what city, what state. It's a hell no. So what we gonna need to find out is what make this heifer think that she can run for politics here in Georgia. Who she been talking to? Who she cool with here in politics? Because we already know what it is with Georgia. We know what it is. So who you cool with? They got you thinking that you welcome. Somebody had to give her the okay to go ahead. Yeah. And they got plans for y'all. Well, bitch, you can take that shit somewhere else. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see what the hell Tiffany ass been up to lately and what she got going on. What she making her think she gonna come here to Georgia and do what, bitch? Not a portion of that shit. There's no second chance. There's no. You can go to Tennessee. You can go somewhere else. Okay, and they could, maybe they'll give you another chance. Maybe they crazy like that. I don't know. But no, we got enough problems here in Georgia. Bitch, you can't come here with that shit, okay? Over my dead body, you ain't coming here with that bullshit. Nope. The whole state is too close to home. It is. It's too close to home. Too close to home. Too close to motherfucking home. Hell no. Can't do it. Can't do it, boo-boo. You got to go to hell on that one. Okay? And I don't know how you want to get there, but you can get an escort. Free ride. Let's see what's going on. Tiffany. No. The worst. Fucking city girl mayor. Get your ass on with that. No, sir.
If you haven't heard of Tiffany Henyard, well, you were in for a treat. Tiffany Henyard was the mayor of a township, and they actually call it a village out there in Illinois. Now, there was an entire situation where Tiffany Henyard, where she was being accused and was found guilty of stealing some money.
I literally just got off the road, just walked in the door, and I'm listening to Jedediah. I said, well, it's been a minute. You know, we getting a little sporadic with the videos and everything. Tiffany Henyard, I don't want to hear about her no more. But then again, I want to see, what's going on with this heifer. And he said, she's trying to run in Fulton County in Georgia? In Georgia? But you think it's that here? That's what you really think? Oh, hell no.
And cashing checks that she wasn't allowed to cash. I mean, this situation is absolutely insane. And now we're finding out that she's trying to bring that BS to Atlanta. I'm not going to have it.
That's right.
I found out what Tiffany Henyard's got going on. She's going to be here in Atlanta, and we're going to keep a close eye on her and make sure she doesn't get anywhere near public office. And I'm dedicating this channel to making sure y'all know what Tiffany Henyard is about.
Okay.
So if you're watching in Atlanta, you can look out for that.
Okay. So this guy, I'm going to share his channel on my community tab. All right. So everybody, he said it. I don't know who he is, but we're going to find out. I'm going to be following him too. And no, Tiffany, we won't be lazy on this one, bitch.
And if you ever happen to
you can't come here. You can't come here.
School board or something. We got to keep it away. So let's get happening with Tiffany Henyard. Let's do a little bit of rewind to actually a couple of years ago when some things first went down with her in her city of Dalton, Illinois. Check this out from News 32 there in Illinois. Crazy.
More drama in Dalton to tell you about. Fox 32 has learned that controversial Mayor Tiffany Henyard may have billed the wrong taxpayers for a trip to Washington, D.C. earlier this year.
Yes, has been digging into all of this.
She done too much.
That's the latest this afternoon. You might call our latest story, Mayor Henyard goes to Washington, but sends the bill to the wrong taxpayers.
That's crazy.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor, and I am in the house.
She is a crook, a thief. She thinks she a gangster. She is a hot, ghetto, trash-ass mess. She is a terrible human being. I'm talking about horrible human being. I recall the woman who went with Tiffany and them on a trip, so-called business trip that they ain't had no business going on. And one of the guys, one of Tiffany's friends, who's in office himself, drugged her and sexually assaulted her. She went to Tiffany, and Tiffany tried to keep it quiet. And that's just the tip of the iceberg concerning that. I covered all this stuff on my channel. She bankrupted Dalton. She was, man, I couldn't even think right now. You can't bring that shit here.
Mid-January, and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is
Bitch, we
getting
can all
triggered
get
at the White
gangster.
House, part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting in Washington, D.C.
It's gonna just be dope. Just turn around so you can see our group of people.
Especially as black people, we got enough problems.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Oh my God.
And even a photo op with the president himself. But there's a big problem with who paid for Henyard to be here.
These appropriations are misappropriations.
I don't know how
We
Chicago
show
let her get
credit
away
card
with
statements
that.
for the trip to veteran municipal lawyer Bert Odelson, who represents Dalton trustees.
I do not
opposed to
know.
Henyard.
Every time I say I can't believe that she would do something, here comes another.
We found more.
And this is also the same mayor that spent
Not here,
the
baby.
city's budget on advertisement to advertise herself. She was getting in trouble for that as well.
And
We'll
it's
get
to
into
help
that in
you,
a second.
Tiffany.
This is crazy.
'Cause somebody will find your body, girl.
Mayor's meeting,
And Len ain't
including
finna play that with you.
fees, flights to Washington, D.C., hotel rooms that were all charged to a credit card belonging to Thornton Township, a completely separate unit of government, where Henyard serves as supervisor.
There's no
This is
reason for
crazy.
anyone from a township to go to a mayor's conference. A mayor's conference is a mayor's conference for mayors.
Tiffany Henyard is not done with politics just yet. The former South suburban politician has moved to Georgia and appears to be running for office there. The local board of elections says Tiffany A. Henyard has qualified to run for a district commissioner's job in Fulton County.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your
Jedediah, why you didn't
mayor,
beat
Miss
us? She
Tiffany
came
A.
here.
Henyard, the people's mayor, the people's savior, the Messiah.
If she just got here, how
to
did she
politics.
qualify?
You know what I'm saying? Man, listen. Tiffany Henyard
I'll run
is
for
like
office
that
before I
one
let her get it.
cockroach infestation that you just cannot
Sure
get
will.
away. You cannot get rid of it. You tried all the sprays, the gels, you put the stuff underneath the stove. For some reason, no matter how many times you flush the toilet, the cockroaches keep coming back up. That, my friend, is Tiffany Henyard to politics, bro. This lady will not be stopped. And at a certain point, I have to give it to her. I have to kind of clap it up for her because she is relentless.
Yeah,
man.
I'm not even finna play that game.
So we all know that Tiffany Henyard has moved to Georgia. You know, and we thought it was just a new leap. She was running away from the feds. She started up her little business called The New Wave, spelled THA. You know, she started up her wonderful venture and she was just going to mellow out until the federales came and got her. Not Tiffany. No. And we should have seen this coming. We should have seen this coming because she's given interviews, and we're gonna go up. We're gonna go over all of these little indicators she was giving us all along. But basically, Tiffany Henyard is now going to run as a Republican for the role of commissioner, bro. This shit is
I don't
crazy.
care if she ran as
And
a
I think she
Chinese man.
understands that she's going to go for the most unopposed role possible so she could kind of inch her way into politics. She's going to go for the most unopposed role possible so she could just pop up and be there and no one could do anything about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the cockroach of politics herself, Tiffany A. Henyard. We can't even call her the people's mayor anymore. The cockroach of politics has made a triumphant return. Let's go ahead and check this thing out.
This okra is so good.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today,
Liar.
I do not handle that.
Some of those
That was a lie.
charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
You can tell in her face she lying. I know for a fact she was lying.
What is that?
I know about her
You
dirt
were in Las
inside
Vegas?
and out. No.
Of course I do.
It's no.
Were you?
Nope.
It's
You
not
can't come
paid
here.
by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Listen, I think that was the moment Tiffany Henyard decided to stop being a Democrat. I think that was the very moment she said, "You know what? Fuck these guys. There's a little too much accountability on my side of the aisle. Let me try and see if I can manipulate the other side of the aisle." I think that was the very moment Tiffany said, "You know what? Fuck these people. I'm gonna go and try to scheme and steal on the other side of the aisle." This shit is crazy. But
She
when I
better
say
go listen to OJ by Jay-Z, because you, okay.
earlier that there were signs. She got more and more bitter toward her own party when they started pushing her out, which I guess is the natural progression. But I never pegged her to be the person to actually go behind enemy lines and set up camp. And that's exactly what she did. But we sure saw it coming. She did an interview before with this woman called, what was it called? Her name was the Big Facts Network. It was a woman, Carisha. And she was talking about how Democrats ain't done nothing for black people, and you know, the conversation is up in the air, and you know, I love the conversation. You need to read. You remember that? That was her trying to soft launch her new image as being a Republican. Let me give you guys a quick reminder.
So you certainly landed during a trying time in the world. There's been a lot of conversation lately about members of the black community leaving the Democratic Party. Ooh. Yes, that's been the topic of the day on social media, like in the podcast world. Have you heard anything about that? Oh yes, they talking, huh? They are talking. What's your thoughts about that? I'm really, really happy that people are entertaining the conversation. I really want people to educate themselves so they understand who does what, how it works, and what's the process. Right. Because everybody's pointing the finger at they did it, left, right, okay, whatever. Right. But no one's coming with facts.
She gonna try to finesse y'all, Atlanta. She's going to try to finesse you. Don't fall for it. If she did her own people in her own city, her own town dirty, and that's an understatement, please believe she don't care a thing about you.
Shut the fuck up. Listen, this is another thing Tiffany likes to do. She likes to sun you, likes to make you feel like you're a moron. I guarantee you before this interview, she told Carisha, like, hey,
she's a
moron.
moron.
Make sure you ask me now about me changing from Democrat to Republican now. Okay, I'll give you a seat on my staff if I get into office now.
Don't she try to finesse you.
So I can say it. Man, listen, Tiffany doesn't understand anything she's talking about. The only thing she understands is if I could get on this side and I can manipulate my ass off hard enough, maybe they'll accept me over here. That's facts. So she always comes in with, oh, read your facts.
This is the second person that I'm watching discussing her since we started the video, and they saying everything I agree with. It's unanimous with her. Okay? There is no other side to it. She's beyond trash.
I'm pretty sure Tiffany doesn't really know what the fuck the Democrats are doing for black people or Republicans.
And she sure ain't doing that.
Flop into anywhere who will accept her. So now that
she want to get back in
with her at all, zero, none whatsoever, she's like, well, maybe
so she can make the city even worse.
Read your facts about the Republicans.
And take up all the money.
Don't let me in. Nobody wants you. You're a lost puppy that nobody wants.
Talking because they don't like someone. I want people this time around to actually go do your research. Then you can speak with facts.
She always say that. She always say that. And the research shows, bitch, that you are a evil ass scammer. And more. And more. And more. I don't even understand why they would allow her. This is like some cop who, deleted someone, violated people, women, children, just all the worst things the cops can do. And instead of getting fired, they get to resign and then go to another city, another state, and get hired. Get a raise. Accolades. We just saw that in the Afro Man case, some cops. What in the world? Hey, Omar. Would anybody be doing letting this girl even get on some kind of ticket or ballot? I'm pretty sure they didn't even finish with her. With all the shit she done. She owed people her life and then some. How is it possible? America, we got to do better than this. This girl here shouldn't be on nobody ballot.
People keep voting for Democrats or keep voting Democrat, but the Democrats aren't doing anything for the black community. That's true. So, I lived it. That's true. You lived it. You mean I lived it? Because I am a Democrat. I ran as a Democrat. And if you go check
And you was trash in office. The worst.
I was poor, the Democrat ballot. And Democrats really need some help.
She sure don't
And
care
I'm
about
here
no
to
no
say
black people.
proudly
Girl, don't
that,
come here with
I
that.
don't
You think
know
because people in
belong
Atlanta, they're going to be
63.
stupid about
This
you.
shit is hilarious, bro. And not only is she trying to create a completely new leaf for her, which is, you know, I guess her right as an American, if you want to say that. Not only is she doing that, she is single-handedly attempting to ruin the Democrat side as she's leaving. And this should be an indicator to all Republicans who are thinking about supporting Tiffany Henyard. Look at this that
Why
she
would they
posted
be
on
thinking
her
about-
Facebook.
You're broken down now.
Now I have to pause it because of that stupid music right there. But look what it says. Vote, vote, vote. Dalton residents, vote no. Vote no, no, no in increasing term limits. Vote no, no, no. While Tiffany Henyard is currently trying to be a Republican, she still has a vendetta against her Democrat fam. That shit is crazy, and that should give you everything you need. That should tell you everything you need to know about her character. This is a hateful woman. But anyways, I want to go back to when Tiffany Henyard, you know,
She
first
really
got
is hateful.
exposed for running in Georgia, and what professionals in that area, in that jurisdiction, think about her and her chances of actually becoming a commissioner. Let's check this thing out real quick. I'll play it from the beginning.
Well, WGN Investigates has learned Tiffany Henyard is not done with politics just yet. The former South Suburban politician has moved to Georgia and appears to be running for office there. The local Board of Elections says Tiffany A. Henyard has qualified
Tiffany, you
to
can go to
run
hell.
for a district commissioner's job in Fulton County. Henyard did not respond to a request for comment, though. The county includes Atlanta and surrounding suburbs. The longtime Democrat is running as
Not
a
here.
Republican, will not face any opponents in
ma'am.
the primary. The district is heavily
Nope.
Democratic and 4 candidates
Nope.
are vying for that nomination.
And see, that's the other thing. You
And I
know,
just got off the road.
She's going for the most unopposed thing. It makes sense. It really does
No,
make sense.
ma'am.
You kind of have to give it up to her. You know, she realized that she's a failed businessman and every endeavor that she attempts fails. But maybe she has a little bit better luck in politics. So she's going right back in there, trying to just inch her way into the door. Because once she's in the door, it's going to be a lot harder to get rid of her. It's just like that.
Look at
vote
how
she
hard
first
it was
mentioned.
for
You see, one of them, there's 30.
for them to get rid of her Illinois. The only reason someone would let her in is because she is so good, clearly, at the dirt she does. She is so good at manipulating the people. It took her people too long to start holding her accountable, and they went through hell and ice water to get her up out of there, and it was not done alone. They had to call outside reinforcements. Jedediah Brown had to bring the noise. It got about as thug and gangster as it could get. Okay, she was straight up mobbing them people while robbing them dry, draining everything, selling off all their shit, selling off all their land, their properties, selling off the, ancient shit. I mean, she ruined it, and she was mayor and superintendent. Dalton and Thornton holding 2 seats. Her and her crooked ass boyfriend just ruining everything. It would take them generations to begin to recover from the damage she's done. I don't know why the ancestors ain't stomped her ass out by now.
Of them. You see, 2 of
Shit.
them, there's 100. You know, it's just increasing her odds of having some type of job security, in my opinion, at this point.
This is somebody who hasn't had much of a chance to establish roots, and she's going to be running against people
Right.
who have far deeper roots.
That's what I
in the
said. If
community.
that's the case, I will run. I shit you not. How long has she been here? 5 minutes? And why are y'all even allowing it? You should have turned her ass around. Bitch, bye. And do us lead a state while you at it. Tiffany, you can take that shit somewhere else, honey.
And so that might actually end up being what is her undoing. It might not be because of her scandalous past, but it may be she hasn't lived long enough in this district.
It should be because of her scandalous past.
And there are also questions about whether Henyard has lived in Georgia long enough to hold office. Also today, Henyard lost a $10,000 judgment in a rent dispute with her.
She can always try to scam and finesse black
So you
folk.
guys see what's happening, right? And if you're picking up the puzzle pieces like I am, it's starting to make sense why she would immediately why would you immediately start a business in Georgia? Why would you do this interview to let people know what's happening? It's because you want to let the community know that you're a part of them now. I pay taxes to the community just like you do. I'm one of you guys. I have a local business. I help the community. Let me just let Tiffany say it for herself, okay?
We see how
Because
she
I
do
do
with
believe
community.
that the Big Facts
Absolutely
Network
not.
interview that she did was
Absolutely
pretty
not.
much the precursor for everybody in that area to get to know her a little bit, because she also brings up her clothing store. And it's starting to look to me that this store is only there for the sole purpose of, hopefully breaking even, I'm assuming, and getting her name out there in Atlanta.
Finessing.
Oh, that's Tiffany from up the way.
Trickery.
That's Tiffany with the clothes shop. It would make sense now, because I guess you have to live there for a certain period of time. You have to have all these requirements to run. And I'm actually going to show you the actual Fulton County website and show
She
you
better
her
not get
name.
one
Before
vote.
we do that, let's talk about her clothing brand real quick.
And for those of y'all
And if
who
she
are
do
new
it,
to
better be her
our
own
story,
vote.
Your clothing store, before we wrap up, the new wave.
Yes.
In College Park.
Yes.
Amazing clothing
Bitch,
store.
bye.
I love the merch. I actually got my first outfit. I'll definitely be back. Anyone who knows the diva knows I love this shop.
Oh, shit.
I like this shop.
Guess
So
who
talk to us
going
about
up
what you
there?
expect with your
Me.
clothing store. She doing it all, y'all.
So basically, everybody was into my fashion.
So I can
They
tell her
Nobody
to her
was
face.
into your fashion. Nobody was into your fashion. Editor, please throw up some pictures of Tiffany Henyard's fashion. Throw up like 4 pictures real quick.
Tiffany's
Nobody
fashion was talked
into
about
that
the
fashion,
same way we
Tiffany.
talk
That
about
peacock
Clarissa's.
Fucking
And she had a
that
stylist.
weird shit you were when everybody was laughing at you.
Her and Clarissa's
But
sisters.
it gets even more outrageous. Let's continue.
Yeah, so yeah.
Tiffany will have on something nice every now and then. Every now and a blue
So
moon.
basically, I want to basically embrace somebody with how I dress. When I'm on a down day like now, like this is something.
Bitch, you can't come to the A with that shit.
So we got different things for a different unit.
Don't nobody in the A want to dress like you, ho.
I care about people being able to put their hands on the stylist. A lot of times people don't even know what a stylist is.
Right.
The stylist will style you.
This bitch said people don't even know what a
She in
stylist
Atlanta
is.
talking that. Oh, she in for a
Because even if I didn't know what a
surprise.
stylist was. Who the fuck doesn't know what a stylist
Right.
is? They
In Atlanta?
style people.
Okay.
A lot of people don't even know what stylist is. A lot of people don't even know what stylist is.
In Atlanta?
People in third world countries know what
She's gonna
stylists
get her
are.
ass handed to her.
We're in America, so let's not even talk about third world countries. Let's talk about America. Every fucking individual on this country border knows what a stylist is, Tiffany. Maybe not everybody, but maybe the Amish folks don't know what stylist is. You know what I mean? Everybody, the majority of people know. This shit is crazy. I do believe that this is to give her some establishment.
See what she
in
talking about?
Georgia. Let's continue.
It's ask her how many stylists are in fucking Georgia. Okay. I'm a seamstress and designer. I've been fucking doing this for too damn long. Ask her how many stylists are in Atlanta. She don't even know, does she? Too many. Too many. Okay? Atlanta fashion would it be underground, mainstream? Bitch, is you crazy? Yeah, you can take that raggedy, tacky shit back on. You won't come here, run for nothing, get no taxpayers' money, so you can live your glamorous life. Not here. And this is the land of hustle. Oh my God. Oh my
It's a
God.
party going on with your
She in
girls.
for a rude
We
awakening.
pull a whole rack for you. And you come in, tell us the size to be on the rack, and you go in the dressing room and you pick what outfit you want to wear for that
Bitch,
evening or
it's
that
so many
weekend.
shops.
And that's
Rashida
all
them
good people
gonna
love
bring
buying
your
that
ass up out of here with that
That's
bullshit.
why, in the naming of the new wave, this is the new wave. This is
Rashida,
our new era. This
y'all
is
see
what
this
we're
shit?
doing. And then in it, it say from ashes
Y'all
to
see this
icon.
bitch?
And I do feel like these walls are closing in, man. They are closing the fuck in. She already owes $10,000 for the landlord that she didn't want to pay. Now she doesn't have any fucking money. Now she doesn't have any money. Before all of this, I felt like, you know, she's just being stubborn. She could have paid that landlord. And this is why I say stay on top of your bills, because the money don't flow the same way it does every week, every month, every year. Things happen. Now she owed $10,000 to that landlord. I hope she has to pay more. But anyways, let's move forward. Let's move forward, right? Because we had to make sure this was actually Tiffany Henyard. So we went
And
over.
when we say
and
landlord, we
found
talking about a
list of
black
qualifications.
woman. We talking about a black woman that rented her house to Tiffany. We talking about a black woman that believed in her like y'all believed in Obama. We talking about a black woman that she hustled and finessed. Oh, let me not pay deposit. Let me pay this for rent instead of da-da-da-da. She wanted every favor in the world. Then she wanted to get in there and start trying to change and redecorate the girl house. Then she get in there and don't want to pay her and her boyfriend while they got businesses and they scamming, and she's sitting on 2 seats in 2 different downtowns, and she don't want to pay this woman. This woman got to go to court and go through all this shit and lose all this money while Tiffany is in her house. Are you kidding me?
Candidates, okay? And this is mad recent. This is like days ago recent, okay?
That's what community is to Tiffany.
County list of qualified candidates. And if we scroll all the way down to District 5, baby, we want to find District 5. Everybody come along with me and let's find District 5. Fulton.
Where's her shop in College Park? I wish I had it known before I came home.
District 5.
I
You know what
drove
I'm
over
saying?
there today.
How do you say district in Spanish? Distrito 5. We looked through. What the fuck? Sojourner M. Grimmett, Deja, whoever. And then we have the only Republican.
Don't let
The
26 be the year that I set it off out there. Right here.
Now I'm looking for the Tiffany A. Henyard, and Nate the lawyer had pointed this out. We don't know the profile of the person who's being qualified for this position. We don't know all the information, but the coincidence is way too similar. I don't believe in coincidences, right? I don't think this is a coincidence. But Nate the lawyer did point out, shout him out, go subscribe to him.
She's a
He
joke.
did point out that this is not 1,000% certain, but it's very close to certainty. I don't see the Tiffany A, but she probably registered without her middle name. Tiffany Henyard, Republican, business owner. Approved 3/5/2026. That was 5 days ago. 5 days ago. This is her big comeback, everybody. The cockroach queen herself is on her way back. Let's see what happens, man. I needed to bring this to you guys as soon as possible. I woke up this morning, wiped the crud out my eyes, looked at my phone, and Tiffany Henyard was on my feed. And I had to bring
That's how bad it
people
is. I'm telling you,
ASAP.
I just walked in the door. I've been on the road.
You know, but before we go, I just want to leave you guys with a beautiful outro. So something to remember, Tiffany.
This would be priority, Tiffany. You can't, baby girl.
Excited for
and I don't mean to call you baby girl. I meant you can't, bitch. That's what I meant to say.
I'll see you guys real soon.
My bad. Yeah. Nah, it can't happen. Not gonna be able to do it. Try to take it serious before, but you blew it. Take that shit back to Chicago or go somewhere else. You can't come here with that. No, sir, no, ma'am. No, Tiffany. You'll take your ass. You can go anywhere else.
situation. If you haven't heard of Tiffany Henyard, well, you were in for a treat. Tiffany Henyard was the mayor of a township, and they actually call it a village out there in Illinois. Now, there was an entire situation where Tiffany Henyard, where she was being accused and was found guilty of stealing some money. She was signing checks and cashing checks that she wasn't allowed to cash. I mean, this situation is absolutely insane. And now we're finding out that she's trying to bring that BS to Atlanta.
Nope.
I'm not gonna have it.
It ain't going. It ain't going to
Tiffany Henyard's got going on. She's going to be here in Atlanta, and we're going to keep a close eye on her and make sure she doesn't get anywhere near public.
On the dead homies, Tiffany. On the dead homies. You can't come here with that.
If you're watching in Atlanta, you can look out for that name if you ever happen to see it.
On the dead homies, Tiffany.
School board or something. We got to keep it away. So what's been happening with Tiffany Henyard? Let's do a little bit of rewind to actually a couple of years ago when some things first went down with her in her city of Dalton, Illinois. Check this out from News 32 there in Illinois.
Dead homies blood.
In Dalton to tell you about Fox 32 has learned that controversial Mayor Tiffany Henyard may have billed the wrong taxpayers for a trip to Washington, D.C. earlier this year.
Yes. Has been digging into all of this for more than 2 years now. That's the latest this afternoon. You might call our latest story, Mayor Henyard goes to Washington, but sends the bill to the wrong taxpayers.
That's crazy.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor, and I am in playoffs.
It's mid-January, and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is getting a tour of the White House, part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting in Washington, D.C.
And like she never been nowhere before. That was so embarrassing.
Got a group of people, and going some rooms, and yeah, oh my God.
And even a photo op with the president himself. But there's a big
Look at her.
problem.
Alex, you're supposed to be the mayor. Why you acting like that?
Appropriations are misappropriations.
We show credit card statements for the trip to veteran municipal lawyer Bert Oldelson, who represents Dalton trustees opposed to Henyard.
Every time I say I can't believe that she would do something, here comes another.
Yeah.
We found more than...
And this is also the same mayor that spent the city's budget on advertisement to advertise herself. She was getting in trouble for that.
Billboards all over the place.
We'll get into that in a second.
Right.
Crazy.
$9,000 in charges for the U.S. Mayor's meeting, including conference fees, flights to Washington, D.C., hotel rooms that were all charged to a credit card belonging to Thornton Township.
All charged, everything was on their dime. Everything. Her clothes, hair, everything. Any trip her boyfriend is. No, Tiffany. Girl, bye. On the dead homies blood. You can't come here with that.
Shout out to
Won't happen, baby.
Shout out to her.
Get gutter with it.
This is Mayor Dalton and Supervisor of the township. Two separate government entities are constantly being blurred.
I have found.
Look at that shit she got on. She's talking about fashion.
Were paid with the Thornton Township check. It's hard to decipher what is Township and what is Dalton because she blends them so.
Don't show records.
Well, shout out to her for actually being conscious of what's going on in her township. But it gets even better, guys, because again, we're going to get into the $3+ million that is still being looked into when it comes to Tiffany Henyard and her spending there in Dalton, Illinois. And I'll say Illinois.
The damage she did to
say in the comments. I pronounced
Dalton and Thornton. The damage she's done to Dalton and Thornton. It's just.
At the end of things. But the S is there. Unpronounceable. Check this out.
The village of Dalton has more than $3.5 million in the hole. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of misusing money, and today she's nowhere to be found.
Tara Molina spent the day in Dalton following the investigation into Henyard's spending. Tara?
Jim and Marie, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is the special investigator in this case. And like we first told you last night, not only did she find the village of Dalton is in significant debt, but she also found the village's credit card spending is out of control. Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't respond to any of my requests today, and I'm told she's not in the building.
They got the mayor of Chicago up out of there too.
You think, hold on, y'all really think somebody in Georgia, somebody in Atlanta, gonna let an out-of-towner come and out-scam them? Like, you gonna come here and scam harder than they are? Like, they gonna put you in office so you can scam? Before they scam? And scam Atlanta? Whoa, she gotta be acquainted with some. She gotta be buddies with somebody. She's down with somebody in office. And when you find out who these folks are, that's who we get rid of as well.
Village employees told me she wasn't in the office and didn't say when she would be. The day after this.
You can hit the road with your buddy Tiffany.
Thursday night, outburst after outburst. Following Special Investigator Lori Lightfoot's limited examination of Dalton's finances. Her report revealing as of May 31st, the village's general fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million.
That's small town. A $3.6 million deficit is crazy.
Lightfoot originally hired by trustees
What happened?
concerned about spending. Like self-promoting,
Spending all willy-nilly and they weren't paying attention. They let her do it.
Plus spending on lavish dinners and trips.
Why are we going to these places? What's happening here?
Dalton trustee Brittany Norwood sat down with the CBS News Chicago investigators in
The people are
February,
mad.
telling us then trustees were denied requested bank statements.
You're having the same reaction that we did when you said that.
With credit card spending out of control.
And receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided.
Lightfoot further uncovering spending that doesn't add up. The report shows $40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in one day.
Good
Money that's unaccounted for.
These are for using one of the credit cards.
Another question lingering here.
Wow.
Money
Now
spent
this
on
is just
police
some. This
overtime,
is just a
with
little
two officers
drop of
racking up
the
6
stuff
figures
she's
in
done.
pure OT, $108,000 and $114,000. The deputy chief just fired here last week, Louis Lacey, paid $96,000
I'm glad y'all got rid of
in
him.
overtime.
And he pled out on this one as well. He pled guilty, and he's working on snitching everybody else involved.
Oh, that's good.
Wild stuff here.
Okay.
I mean, $40,000.
They done a lot of dirt.
How?
The village is unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with available cash balance.
I reached all of the village's trustees in reporting this story today. As of right now, I have not heard back from one of them. Of course, we also haven't heard back from Mayor Tiffany Henyard. If any of that changes, we'll update the
Now, if
story
he
that's up on our
snitching,
website
somebody
right
else
now,
gonna have to
where you can
snitch
find
too, because
all
they
of
can't
our
let you
coverage
out
of
snitch
these
them. They
issues
can.
here in Dalton.
You snitching. You can say so did it.
Millions of Americans like me go to work.
Making products you can rely on.
For brands you trust.
We try to make
Scamming on my work shoes. Look at that shit.
With everyday essentials that are convenient.
I know that ain't gonna
and
fit.
above all, safe.
Nothing's more important than the safety of what we make.
Because we don't just work here.
Man, this shit is annoying. God, I can't even be home for a day and a half because Tiffany Henyard is trying to get in politics in Georgia. Girl, if you don't go head on with that, and go somewhere else with that, no, just no, heifer, ho, no, either no. God, I'm mad as hell about this shit. I went all this time, and they done fucked up my damn work boots.
Denture, but the globally popular flexible smart custom denture kit. It's incredibly easy to use. Just soak it in hot water for 1 minute. It instantly activates in the hot water, becoming as soft as modeling clay. Next, simply place it into your mouth and gently bite down. This unique flexible material will automatically adapt and perfectly mold to the unique shape of your jawbone, creating a one-of-a-kind custom-made denture just for you. You no longer need to book expensive dental appointments or endure months of waiting. Today, you can easily create your own premium custom denture right at home. This isn't stiff plastic. It locks snugly against your gums.
Oh my God, everything's an AI. So nice.
Okay, so now we're actually going to get into what is Tiffany Henyard doing now? Why the heck is she in Atlanta? And how you guys can keep an eye out for her in case she ends up on a ballot somewhere, which I'm sure at some point is her goal. We'll have to wait and see. This is a video Nate the Lawyer did a couple of days ago. I'm going to leave a link to the full video in the description for you guys so you can watch it and see his entire breakdown. But he's going to give a little bit of a better background and overview of some things that we didn't cover yet. And then I'll show you guys some more information into what Tiffany Henyard is doing now, including suing for all of the stuff she had to go through there in Dalton. It gets wild.
We are live and up close with my new guest today, the beautiful, the entrepreneurial, the boss, Tiffany Henyard. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
So when you come into the
Welcome
city,
to Atlanta, my
Atlanta is
foot.
known as, it's a mecca. It's known as Black
She is
Hollywood.
not
It's
welcome.
known as the city of dreams, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a boss, a creator. So my first
My
question is,
laptop.
what led you to Atlanta? You just said it. Opportunity.
So
How the hell did it fall?
Henyard saga. Tiffany Henyard has fled
Oh
the state of
my
Illinois and now is set up shop in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's talk.
No, you're not doing it.
Illinois. And again, shout out to Nate the Lawyer. Y'all make sure you go support him. We're going to skip ahead a little bit in the video.
And use the code NATE for 30% off and get cloaked today. All right, people, this is Tiffany Henyard, former mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and she was labeled one of the worst mayors in America.
In
and
America
she earned
history?
that label. For instance, she got into a fist fight at a board meeting.
Get it, I said. You
Here's there
bitch.
tonight, getting into the fray herself. We've seen our fair share of heated city hall meetings, but nothing quite like this. Tuesday's meeting at the Dalton Township in Illinois went left, far left, developing into an all-out brawl. Even Thornton Mayor Tiffany Henyard got involved. Is this our America?
Being when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in it, I was just taken aback. I was floored.
Look at that. Hey, go ahead,
Now,
Tiffany.
if you think all that was crazy, Henyard went to a board meeting and told the taxpayers that they better have her money by playing Rihanna's "Bitch Better Have My Money."
And I'm looking for that Rihanna.
Going with that Nino Brown
This is
suit.
what they told me to tell y'all. Right here. Every single resident.
Man, they should have murked that bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Pay me what you owe me.
This really happened. Can y'all imagine? You're married to.
I don't even want to have the remembrance of all this shit. I already been through it as it was happening. I don't want to remember this shit. She gonna try to bring that here to
We're
Atlanta?
gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna be here for like
Man.
an hour. So those are some of the highlights. I have plenty of videos on this.
I gotta put some ice on my
Let's
head.
get to
Ugh.
now, as you guys know, Tiffany Henyard lost the election in a landslide.
Morning, we are taking a look at
Man,
election
shit
results
don't
following
stop.
primaries across the Chicago area. And one of the biggest ones
I
is
told y'all
suburban
crooks
Dalton,
don't
and
sleep,
Mayor
boy.
Tiffany Henyard lost her reelection
The
bid
enemies
to
don't
Governor
sleep.
C.J.
They don't
Sanders.
stop. They don't stop.
Yes, a lot indeed. It wasn't even 24
Can't
hours
stop,
ago.
won't
Henyard
stop.
told me it would be a landslide. That was the case, just not in her favor. Former ally Jason House
Damn
picked up
shame.
88% of the vote. Henyard received 12%, less than 1,000 votes.
Like our people ain't been through enough.
Fired from both her positions, decided it was time to move to Georgia.
We
Nah.
are live and up close with my
Nah.
new guest today, the beautiful,
Nah.
the entrepreneurial, the boss, Tiffany Henyard. How are you?
Guys, again, Atlanta, Fulton County, I promise you. We will use this platform to ensure that this woman gets nowhere near public office.
See, you're gonna have to use more than that
ain't trying to go
platform.
through
You
this.
know what we
already got
talking
it
about.
on this, okay? Y'all have heard how many times we've covered on this channel. Fulton County says they're broke here. The elections board said they don't have money for new voting. We got Fannie Willis saying, "Oh, y'all gonna take off my budget if I paid this $17 million." We're not gonna get Tiffany Henyard in here. We don't need it. We got enough issues already.
Okay.
Just go start your taco stand or your burger truck, whatever, Tiffany. Just chill out.
Yeah, well, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Absolutely. Welcome to Atlanta. Thank you. So when you come into the city, Atlanta is known as, it's a mecca. It's known as Black Hollywood. It's known as the city of dreams, especially if you're an entrepreneur, a boss, a creator. So my first question is, what led you to Atlanta? You just said it. Opportunity.
Now, Tiffany Henyard said it was opportunity that has led her to leave Illinois to go to Atlanta. But it could also be the federal investigation where her former police chief lived on her and is now state's evidence.
A guilty plea and cooperation from a top ally of former South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard. WGN Investigates has learned former Dalton Police Chief Louis Lacey is pleading guilty in a personal bankruptcy case. His plea deal includes the promise of cooperation with unspecified current and future federal investigations.
Yeah, so Tiffany Henyard is in some trouble, and there's a reason that she's not in Illinois anymore. Illinois. I'm gonna pronounce it. Y'all take the S off when you don't want me to pronounce it. So now, guess what? There is a lawsuit happening, and who is in this lawsuit? Well, Dalton is actually suing the bank because of what they did in this entire situation with Tiffany Henyard. So there's being alleged that Tiffany Henyard, there were some checks that she had signed, and she signed those checks to get money she needed for whatever. I don't know. I guess the $40,000 on Amazon purchases. But included in that, she was supposed to get a second signature for those checks and get it approved before she spent the money. Do y'all think she did it? No, she didn't. So now there's a lawsuit by Dalton against the bank because they're saying the bank should have never given her that money. Check this out from WGN.
WGN Investigates has new details on a lawsuit in South Suburban Dalton. It's against the village's bank, claiming the bank should not have paid out money authorized by former Mayor Tiffany Henyard. And this is not a small amount. Henyard has been out of office for 7 months, but the team that replaced her says she left Dalton in deep debt. This lawsuit
we knew that before.
The village is accusing Fifth Third Bank of failing
I don't know who would take on that.
One village resolution passed by trustees who were concerned about Henyard's spending. It required all payments to have 2 signatures. Instead, the lawsuit says Fifth Third paid out more than $1.8 million in taxpayer money with only Henyard's signature. Fifth Third Bank acted in bad faith because it had actual knowledge that Tiffany Henyard was violating her fiduciary duties and stealing and/or misappropriating public funds. That's what the lawsuit claims. The bank declined to comment. That lawsuit does not make specific claims to fund for misuse, just that they should not have been paid with only Henyard's signature. Keep in mind that contrary to Henyard's rocky final years in office, that she and trustees struggled for control. It was also a WGN investigation shows how Henyard and her allies spent more than $100,000 on travel. Village money and resources also went to Henyard's questionable.
Looking like a doll baby on y'all on the taxpayer's dime. The audacity.
The new mayor says he's been working to dig the village out of debt. Now, to be clear, Henyard is not named as a defendant in this lawsuit, and despite an FBI investigation, she has not been charged with wrongdoing. Her attorney tells me Henyard has, quote, moved on with her life, and the chaos and mismanagement of Dalton at the hands of the Board of Trustees caused damages that will continue to reverberate for years.
I mean, I agreed with her moving on from there, but not to here.
This town wrecked their budget.
We didn't know y'all was trying to send her this way.
The fact that this is a possibility and that she was able to do that is astonishing to me. And again, I think people know who she is at this point, but we got to make sure we keep getting the word out. So
yeah,
again,
not everybody knows.
Here in Fulton County, I guess
most of these, most people don't even pay attention to what's going on in politics.
Comments in the chat. You think we see Tiffany Henyard on the ballot somewhere anytime soon?
People assume others know stuff because it's so deep, so heavy, it's so big.
Georgia needs a conservative leader focused
and if they do, they don't get into it enough to be like, okay, I'm clear. She is definitely a no-go. She's definitely a crook. She's definitely the most scandalous, evil, vile person to walk the earth, okay? Okay, but, female version. No, they're going to look at half for half, or they're going to listen to her talk, and they're going to say, oh, well, maybe people just trying to say her because she's a black woman. Oh, because she's a single mother. This is the kind of stuff she be saying. Oh, maybe because she's, maybe they just didn't want them to win. They don't want us to get our shit back. They don't want us to get reparations. I don't care what y'all say. The answer is no. You don't want her. You don't want her nowhere near. No. It's a firm no. Alright, it's a firm no. No, put your auntie in there before you put her in there. Okay, I'm gonna get on the ballot before no. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. On the dead homies. Okay? When we get to talking about dead homies, then it's real. It's real.
It didn't need to fill up.
It's real. It's that deep.
The needle just doesn't move like it used to. That night I had to look this up myself. I found thousands of videos and reviews online. People showing their fuel gauges barely moving after hundreds of miles, driving for weeks without filling up. That's when I found out what's actually happening. Every car manufactured after 2001 has these things called magnetic disruptors built into the fuel system. They deliberately scramble your fuel molecules into chaotic patterns before they reach the engine. So only 60% of your gas actually burns to power the car. The other 40% gets wasted straight out the exhaust as fumes.
I tried them at the same time. They don't work. I gotta throw them away.
Automakers made a deal with Big Oil. They installed these magnetic disruptors in exchange for
This is making
Hey guys, this is Superman to me a Henyard.
Look at her. So shit. Look what she got on. Look what she got on. Look at what Tiffany has on, y'all. She said she gonna show Atlanta about fashion. Look at what Clarissa cousin got on. Look at what Clarissa cousin has on her body. And she said she gonna show Atlanta about fashion. She got a fashion boutique in College Park. Does she know she in Atlanta? I don't think she knows she in Atlanta. I don't think she know where she at.
You guys doing a lot of snitching because I lived it. By me being a Democrat and my very own is the ones that was impacting me. And they're Democrats. Right. So make it make sense. Residents have to really research them and stop listening because they say they're Democrat don't mean they're for you. They're normally for themselves. You have to really pay attention and change the narrative that you see right now. Right. Because right now, Republicans are doing a good job to me.
Has learned Tiffany Henyard is not done with politics just yet.
Do you say Trump and them doing a
politician has moved to Georgia.
She said Trump and them are doing a good job.
Tiffany Henyard is trying to get back into politics. She didn't go out, wasn't even close, in her own village, in the township, where people know your names, they know your face, they know exactly what you did and what you've been accused of. Most people would take that as a sign and say, you know what, maybe we should not go back into politics. Not Tiffany Henyard. She moved to Georgia, and she's running for office again in a brand new state under a brand new party for a seat that controls over $1 billion. And she got caught on a $10,000 default judgment because she didn't pay her rent.
Henyard and her boyfriend were accused of not paying the rent for the home they lived in.
We're going to talk about that and more. Let's get into it.
We getting scrutinized in the media. For what? Loving on the people? Showing them that they matter to us?
What?
Going through the fire.
I hate her. I don't even want to go relive this, y'all. The trauma is too real.
Y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on the black
I hate that she came here. I hate
this.
this.
You know who Tiffany Henyard is, but let me try to spend at least a minute or two to catch you up on why so many people care about Tiffany Henyard, or at least find Tiffany Henyard.
You can't turn your back on this one.
The mayor of Dalton.
But you can't rock. You can't rock out here.
She called herself a super mayor because
you can go to hell.
You
can't rock out here.
She gave herself that title. No one else did. During that time in office, the FBI served subpoenas to both Dalton Village Hall and Thornton Township. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was hired to investigate her finances and found that the village was more than $3.5 million in hold.
Look at him. This is the dude that drugged old girl. He drugged the woman the young lady that worked with them. He drugged her, sexually assaulted her, and then recorded her and called the other guy and showed him the tape, pull the sheets, whatever back. Show her naked body and everything. Joked about him getting that ass. And Tiffany tried to help him cover that shit up. Funky bitch.
Her cancer charity, Tiffany Henyard Cares, was ordered to stop collecting donations by the Illinois Attorney General because it wasn't registered.
That big nasty bastard.
Almost all of this funding came from taxpayer money. And if you're going to go,
they belong in a ditch.
She also had a restaurant called Good Bigger that got hit with sanitary complaints and was the workers on the
Now, you know that's not fair. She built on the man. He was Tiffany Juicy Baby.
She also was accused of retaliating against political opponents, using the village police to target businesses, and firing employees for not supporting her. In the village of Dalton, well, they're pretty much screwed right now. They got to pay about $40 million at this point because they had a judgment from a police chase lawsuit that happened before Tiffany Henyard took office. But current leadership says that her administration refused to settle it when they had a chance. Tiffany Henyard says the opposite. She says that it was the trustees that didn't want to settle. Either way, the people who live in Dalton are pretty screwed because now they're going to face property tax increases. But most recently, Tiffany Henyard got caught with a $10,000 default judgment because her former landlord sued her and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, for not paying rent and damaging her property.
Henyard lost a $10,000 judgment in a rent dispute with her former landlord back in Dalton.
Henyard and her boyfriend were accused of not paying the rent for the home they lived in. And court documents show Cook County Sheriff's deputies tried and failed to serve Henyard with eviction papers in October of 2024. Henyard and her boyfriend have since moved out of that home. She did not appear in court today.
Mo Butters just landed. This is what we do. We do how we does.
Man, if you ain't got it together, you better get it together. Because it's coming to a city near you.
It didn't even show up to court. Her attorney said that she was out of state. Obviously, she was in Georgia.
Her boyfriend. I believe he was married. Clarissa. I believe Tiffany, old man, was also married.
To this day, the FBI has not charged her. The investigation appears ongoing, with 2 former allies reportedly cooperating, but still no charges. We have to keep that in mind. I mean, at this point, there's been several mayors, my former mayor, Eric Adams, and others that were investigated and got hit with charges. Tiffany Henyard has not been hit with any charges. But let's go to Georgia.
The local board of elections says Tiffany A. Henyard has qualified to run for a district commissioner's job in Fulton County. A longtime Democrat is running as a Republican, will not face any opponents in the primary.
February 25th, 2025, Henyard loses the Dalton primary. And then 2 days later, election records show that she was registered to vote in Georgia. She started promoting herself online as a clothing realtor in Atlanta, running something called a Blue Wave. She got a personal website branding herself as an author, speaker, advocate, and entrepreneur. She's supposed to come up with a book. She's supposed to come up with a YouTube channel. Who knows? She likes to announce things without much follow-through. But then, on March 5th, 2026, she walks into the Fulton County Republican Party's office and qualifies herself as a candidate for the Board of Commissioners, District 5. Now, Tiffany Henyard was a lifelong Democrat, ran as Democrat every single time.
This is the thing. This didn't just happen. This didn't just happen. This girl is a master scammer. She had to, plan this out ahead of time. Tiffany saw the block was getting hot and she saw she wasn't going to win. She saw she was going to get eventually removed. She had to have somewhere to go. That lifestyle was too good for her. When you can get over on your people, have a position of power, get over on your government, seemingly, because, government don't play. So it's only a matter of time for her. But still, to be able to do it and fundle all this money and spend it on yourself and whatever else you want to spend it on, and ain't nobody checking you, boo, in 2 different towns at the same time. Listen, she know the game. She got it sold up. She couldn't get that up. She had to find somewhere else to go. And then she picked Atlanta. Then she okay, that was clever, going Republican. Okay, I see what you trying to do, but you think the bitch, you ain't who Republican gave you permission? It don't work like that, but I know she know how it works, so who slid her in? You think she just happened to pick Fulton County where she knew she wasn't going to have no opponents? It's Democrat, and she don't have no, you mean to me, there's no Democrats running that can oppose Tiffany? I could see if she was running Democrat and she didn't have no vice versa. But so if she didn't have no opponents, then she didn't have to go Republican. So why did she go Republican? Listen, these people don't sleep on what they do. Y'all the ones who sleep. That's why you keep getting fucked over. Who she with? You want me to say it like Bertie Mac? Who she with?
She was a Democrat. She even sued the Thornton Township Democratic Party when the winning gave her the nomination.
They got plans.
You're just gonna stay here when this is all done?
That's a shame. It's a shame. It's a crying ass shame. That's why Malcolm X said you gotta get rid of them traitors first. You gotta get rid of them in-house Negroes. You gotta get rid of them Sambos first.
Okay, great, thank you.
Uncle Ruckus is.
So what exactly happened? Well, she did this interview a couple of months ago.
There's been a lot of conversation lately about members of the Black community leaving the Democratic Party. They are talking. What's your thoughts about that? I'm really
the boss. He ain't working.
Entertaining the conversation.
Crossing the gun line,
really
boss type
to educate
ass
themselves
Negro.
so they understand who does what, how it works, and what's the process. Well, one thing that I've heard from a lot of people is that a lot of people are saying that people keep voting for Democrats or keep voting Democrat, but the Democrats aren't doing anything for the Black community. That's true. I lived it. That's true. You lived it. You mean
Come on, y'all. Because I am a Democrat.
That's
I ran
too
as a
simple.
Democrat. And when you
None
go
of
check
them
my
ain't doing that for the
voting
black
record,
community.
that's what I always pull, the Democrat ballot. And Democrats really need some help. Residents have to really research them and stop listening because they say they're Democrat, don't mean they for you. They're normally for themselves. You have to really pay attention and
She's been
change the
Democrat all this
narrative,
time, and she's saying it. She talking about herself. Nah, see, this makes me so upset because this shouldn't even be nothing about an I act. She should be able to get up there and talk all day and try everything she want, and this should be nothing to even bat an eye at. Okay, ain't nobody got time for this, but you have to have the time. You have to have the time. Or it's just gonna everybody gonna do what they want to do. It's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. They don't know what this is a headache don't nobody need. To have Tiffany ass around and then y'all the shit they went through to get rid of, and they ain't done with it. They trying to get some payback out of her ass, but good luck with that. And then look at how badly destroyed and damaged they are. Like I said, Tiffany just was opening up the door, cleaning up the mess to make a nice little paved way, and she threw down the red carpet for the white man to come in there and really snatch all that shit up. What's left? What she didn't already sell to him and whatnot. But this is fucking crazy. People like that need shit right in between them damn raggedy ass eyes of hers. Okay?
Because right now, Republicans are doing
I'm talking about dead cinemass.
Now, obviously, black people all don't agree on the same thing. I think a lot of people should consider both parties. You want to see both parties work for your vote instead of just assuming because you're black, you should be voting Democrat. I think a lot of people still do that. And why would the Democrat leaders need to do anything different when they know they got your vote already? You should make them earn it. So registering to be a Republican or independent or libertarian is all cool. But the interesting thing about her position is this person spent taxpayer money on 5-star hotels, credit card purchases with no receipts, a cancer charity funded by public dollars that got shut down. Now she's in this interview saying that Democrats are, quote unquote, normally for themselves. You were a Democrat. The audacity is breathtaking. I believe Tiffany Henyard is using this because she sees that, well, the Republicans won this election cycle and she wants to be on the winning team. It's possible that this is just a politician that got rejected by her own party and is using whatever vehicle available to stay in the game. Because switching to Republican in Fulton County, Georgia, one of the most Democratic counties in the South, is not a winning strategy. It's a survival strategy. She's probably the only Republican who qualified for District 5. She's going to skip the primary entirely and go straight to the November ballot while 4 Democrats fight it out in May. So let's talk about what position she's actually running for, because a county commissioner seat in Fulton County, Georgia is not a small-time gig. This is not a school board or something. This is not a village trustee position. This is big-time stuff. The Fulton County Board of Commissioners is a 7-member body that oversees a budget of over $1 billion. They control funding for public safety, the sheriff's office, the jail system, elections, libraries, health services, water and sewer, senior services, behavioral health, and they appoint the county manager who runs the daily operations of approximately 5,000 employees. District 5 covers East Atlanta, East Point, South Fulton, and parts of Union City and College Park. The current commissioner, by the name of Marvin Arrington Jr., has held this seat since 2014 and has vacated it to run for commission chair. So when you think about this, many people believe that Henyard mismanaged a village with a budget of roughly $33 million. She left it in financial ruin. And now she wants to sit on a board that controls $1 billion budget. But that part should make you pause regardless of what state you live in or what party you belong to. Even if she didn't break any federal laws, clearly there's some mismanagement that happened with the taxpayer money. When she spent all that money on vacations, when she spent a lot of money on that Tahoe that she bought, does she know how to handle money? The question is why she's doing this. She has no real base in Georgia. She doesn't have a strong enough community ties. Usually you have to be there for many, many years. She doesn't have any campaign infrastructure. She hasn't even filed any records with the Georgia Ethics Commission. The chair of the Fulton County Republican Party won't even return calls about her.
This is somebody who hasn't had much of a chance to establish roots, and she's going to be running against people who have far deeper roots in the community. And so that might actually end up being what is her undoing. It may not be because of her scandalous past, but it may be she hasn't lived long enough in this district.
So what's the actual play here? I think it's a combination of things. First, name recognition. Running for office gets your name out there in a new city. It gives you a title. Republican candidate for Fulton County Commissioner. Looks better on a bio than ousted mayor under FBI investigation. She's rebranding. She's talking about the clothing store. She's talking about that book, the speaking engagements. And now this candidacy, this is all building a new identity where people may not know her history or may not know her full story. Second, running unopposed in the Republican primary means that she's automatically on a November ballot. That's months of being a candidate with zero competition. And third, once you are a qualified candidate, you can raise money. We already know how Tiffany Henyard handles other people's money. Her charity got shut down. Her village finances were in shambles. A campaign account is just another pot of money. And think about it. This is someone who compared herself to Jesus Christ and Rosa Parks.
I am history. I am the 21st century history. I am your Rosa Parks, your Harriet Tubman. I am that person.
She might generally think that she can pull this off. But can she win? Probably not. District 5 is one of the most heavily Democratic districts of all of Georgia. Georgia law says that you need to reside in the county for at least 1 year to run for a county office. She was registered to vote there in February. She was qualified in March of this year, so that's really tight. WGN even reported that she may not even be legally allowed to assume office even if she won. So her chances are slim to none. And Slim just left the building. She sat there in an interview and said Democrats are normally for themselves. She said that, and many people do believe that, but she was a Democrat. And she did spend taxpayer money on ridiculous personal security details, credit card shopping sprees, and a charity that funneled public money back to her own people. At some point, you just have to step back and just marvel at the audacity. Now going to Georgia and trying to run for office, it is what it is. You pay the fee, you check where you live, and then you're on the ballot. There's no mechanism that says, hey, you left the village tens of millions of dollars in debt, and the FBI is looking into your finances and looking into what you did. Maybe you should sit this one out. But you know what? Stranger things has happened. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
This is the Regina Sweet Cherry Sapling. Plant it now and harvest your own cherries this May. Developed by a top-tier U.S. fruit tree research station and highly recommended by orchard farmers with 30 years of experience, it boasts incredible benefits: a low dwarf profile, early fruiting, crack resistance, massive yields, and unstoppable vitality. It's completely self-pollinating, so even just one tree will produce fruit. Born extremely cold hardy down to -20 degrees Fahrenheit, its compact shape is absolutely perfect for balcony pots or backyard gardens. We only ship robust 2-year-old saplings. Just plant it, water it, and watch it thrive. No need to wait 5 long years. Plant it right now, and by this May, your tree will be fully loaded with fruit. It can harvest 2 to 3 times a year, with a single tree exploding with 100 pounds of ping-pong-sized cherries. Sweet, tart, bursting with juice, and packed with vitamins and minerals. It's the ultimate superfood combining anti-aging, sleep support, and cardiovascular protection all in.
Hello, family. How's everyone doing today? Hope
Not
everyone
too
is
good
doing
at
well
this point,
today.
honey.
Tiffany is in the ATL,
That's the
speaking
problem.
up the joint, just like we thought she would. But the Georgia residents are not playing with Tiffany and her city slickster shenanigans down up in the South. No, they not playing it. Y'all know we got to talk about the new tea and the new mess Tiffany have going on down there in the ATL. And Hugo has a special request. What?
Come here being disrespectful. You want to scam?
Y'all know we
You
have
ain't
to talk
scamming
about
nobody
this
over
Saturday.
here.
And y'all already know what we have to do for the ones in the back. And we also have a lot of other new topics to talk about. This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Acts in 1976.
I hate when people do that.
Allowance
You
is
don't
made
have to
for
read
fair
it.
use. For purposes
It's
such
still
as
part.
criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Yes, fair use. All rights and credits go directly to its rightful owner. This video is purely for fair use, opinion, and entertainment. Enjoy. And we also want to Want to give a shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for joining us today. Just thank y'all so much for all the awesome support that y'all do show the Cafe of Knowledge channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber already. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Come on, y'all. It's free. Hit the like button for your girl. And hit the hype button. If you see the hype button up under the video, please hit the hype button and hype your girl up. It's so greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much. Thank you to the chat, to the replay game, to everyone who comes in the comment section and write a comment section. Just salute, salute, salute. Salute to the Dalton family over there in Illinois. I see that they also have just gave me a wave or two, and appreciate that. Sending loves and hugs to you all down there in Dalton, Illinois, always, okay? Knowledge family, love y'all. Now, Tiffany done went down there in the ATL and stunk up the joint. We had already said she was going to do this, family. Yes, because that is her history. That is her resume. That is her background. Stinking up the joint. Everywhere she go, it smells like a bucket of chitlins. Yes. And some old skunk meat juice. Down there, stinking up the ATL family. And the dirty, dirty South is digging up some deep dirt on Tiffany since she has stepped foot inside of Georgia. I told Tiffany that the dirty, dirty South don't play. No, see, that's a whole nother breed of foundational people down there. Yeah, see, they don't like city slicksters and their shenanigans. And it's looking like that's exactly what Tiffany did. Yes, it smells like a new scam family full of fraud behavior. And that's what it's giving. So, let's talk about it, family. Because, see, Tiffany came down to Georgia and what they say, registered to vote in February 27th in 2025, right? So, I'm giving y'all a tea what they talking about down there in the ATL, okay? Yes, the residents are talking about this hard, okay? Whether it hit the news or not, this is what they all talking about. So I got to let y'all in on the scoop. And Tiffany, it's best you listen too, because you know you always listening to Cafe anyway, but try to act like you don't. But anyway, the ATL, y'all remember when Tiffany said she came down to the ATL? Yes, February 27th is what they say, that when she went down there, so-called registering to vote, okay? Now, y'all remember the news segment that we did in the last video when the lady specifically said February 27th. And for those who didn't see that news segment, let me just let y'all see it right quick, and you will hear the lady said that she had registered to vote February 27th, 2025. Okay? So let's check that out. Okay? Let's check that out.
By anybody's standard, Henyard would be considered an interesting candidate. You know, she's not from here.
No, she ain't.
She's had a controversy over recent years that you may be familiar with her already. This is the lone GOP candidate for South Fulton County on the Fulton County Commission. That's District 5.
We know what you're up to. Yeah. We finna talk about it.
Last year, Dalton, Illinois voters, a Chicago suburb, but maybe they are to you. Voted Henyard out after 7 years of controversy focused on behavior and spending of taxpayer dollars, including a 2024 FBI corruption probe. The BMWs, the Range Rovers, the probe has resulted in no charges. I'm aware that there was an investigation. Emory University.
Now, let me just correct that, because he said the probe ended in no investigation. That's not true. The federal government still has Tiffany under federal investigation over there in Illinois. And it looked like she might wind up being under federal investigation in Georgia. Yes, we're going to talk about it. But check out what the lady said the day. So,
political scientist Andrea Gillespie points out that Henyard lost her seat in February of
last year and quickly registered to vote here in Georgia. Okay, she lost her seat in February last year. Okay? And then 2 days later, after she lost the seat, she ran down to ATL and registered to vote and said that ATL, Georgia, is her residency now. Okay? Now, listen to what old chick said. Check it out. Gillespie points out that Henyard lost her seat in February of last year and quickly registered to vote here in Georgia. She registered to vote here in Georgia on February 27th, would give her the qualifications in order to meet February 27th. And she said, which gives her the qualifications. The law in terms of what the standard is. So far, okay. So, which will give her the right to run for this candidacy according to the law, because she said she was a resident of Georgia February 2025. Okay? Now, check it out. Was she or was she not? Was she or was she not, family? Yes. Did Tiffany lie on that form? Oh, yes, we got to talk about it, because that's what they're talking about down there in the ATL, honey, because they done called me and let me in on all the scoop. Yes, yes, because see, that lady there, I know that she was at the Emory University. Yes, I think it's about 2 of the candidates that's running supposedly against Tiffany. That's over there, and they did some work over there in the Emory University. And that's the area that my father's stomping ground was in. He was one of the best basketball players back in his day over there by Emory University, okay, and Emory Hospital too. Okay, so now off in that area, yes, that's our stomping ground, okay, that's our roots, my dad's roots. Now, family, that lady said that Tiffany registered to vote in Georgia on February the 27th, 2025. Okay, so when you register to vote in the state of not Alabama, but Georgia, Alabama too, but Georgia, you have to say that you are a permanent resident now of that state. That's where you reside in. Okay, ain't no part-time, all that. You're supposed to be residing in that state. Okay, now, family, what the word on the conservative streets down there in the ATL is Tiffany has most likely committed fraud in Fulton County. And Georgia don't take too kindly of fraud behavior, corrupt behavior, especially from newbies like Tiffany. Yes. Now, Tiffany, did you scam on that Fulton County voters registration? I'm just asking a question, because the conservative out there on those streets in Georgia, in those rooted streets deep in Georgia, told me it looks like you pulled a fraud game down there in Fulton County. They said you tried to pull one of those Illinois City Slickster cars on the ATL, but it didn't work, okay? So y'all heard the news lady say February 27th, okay? Now, in order to register in the Fulton County, you have to swear under oath that Fulton County is your resident, is your full resident, okay? All that, okay? It got the boxes in there. I'll show y'all in a minute, okay? Now, this Georgia's voters registration, and in here it definitely asks you, are you a permanent resident in the state of Georgia? Are you like in there? Do you have a home or do you have a business? And are you fully a resident of Georgia? Okay, so evidently Tiffany had to check the box yes, okay, because that's what made her
qualified, because now it's February of the next year. Last month was February 2026. So that means that Tiffany was a resident for a year, right? Because she applied February 27, 2025. Then on February 27, 2026, she is a resident for a year. And that's how she was able to put her name in the hat for this commissioner seat, okay? Because she's considered been there for a year. Well, that's what the Georgia state thinks, okay? Now, as you will see here, in determining a voter's qualifications to register to vote, the register to whom such application is made shall consider, in addition to the applicant's expressed intent, any relevant circumstances determining the applicant's residence. Okay? The registrars taking such registration may consider the applicant's finance independence, business pursuits, employment, income sources, residence for income tax purposes. So that explains why Tiffany ran down here and opened up that store, that flop-ass store that she got down in the ATL, because she wanted to use that to say, yeah, I'm a resident here, and I have a business here, and all that. So Tiffany made it look like, by opening up that business, that she is a permanent resident here, and she stays here, and all that good stuff, right, in ATL. But one thing, family, February 27, 2025, when Tiffany ran down to ATL and said she was a permanent resident in ATL, and now she resides in ATL, she was still mayor and supervisor at the Dalton Village and Dalton Township, okay? She was holding full-time positions over there in Illinois. So how could Tiffany be in two places at the same time unless Tiffany lied on that Georgia register voting sheet, okay? Now, check it out. Tiffany got booted out of mayor and supervisor in February 2025. But Tiffany held that seat until May of 2025, May 5th to be exact, 2025, when Jason got sworn into mayor position and to when Napoleon got sworn into his position. They didn't take office until May, which means Tiffany was still running Thornton Township as a supervisor in Illinois, and she was still running as mayor. She was still sitting in that mayor seat until May 2025 in the village. So how was she in two places, three places at one time? Because see, you cannot be saying that you're a resident of Georgia February 27, 2025, when you had a whole mayor's position in Illinois on that same day. You had a whole supervisor position in the Thornton Township, Illinois, the same day. And you were still pulling checks from Illinois from both of these positions at the same time.
Every day, millions of Americans like me go to work.
Making products you can rely on.
From brands you trust.
We try to make your day just a little bit easier.
With everyday essentials that are convenient,
affordable, and above all, safe.
Nothing's more important than the safety of what we make.
Because we don't just work here. We're moms
And dads.
doing what we love
So you have more time.
to do what you love.
A message from America's favorite food, beverage, home, and personal care brands.
After an accident, everything can feel overwhelming. But you don't have to figure it out alone. You can speak with a Montlick injury attorney at no cost and with no pressure. Accidents are stressful. Your comeback shouldn't be.
Are you the victim of stinky pig? Is your old and spicy deodorant sleeping on the job? Well, you may be entitled to a new deodorant. In 35 years, I've seen countless injustices. I'm talking aluminum antiperspirant, yellow stains, sporty scents, crimes no man should ever have to deal with. I've helped millions get the deodorant they deserve. Wood barrel bourbon, fresh falls, and coastal mists. So don't hesitate. Reach out now. I'll fight for your pits.
We would like to know, how is that possible? Because we would love to be in 3 places at one time ourselves. So can you tell us how you did that, Tiffany? Yes. So anyway, as y'all will see, that explains why Tiffany opened up that block ass store, okay? Now, Georgia already have enough on their plate down there in Fulton County. They already are going through voter registration investigation, okay? Now, the feds bust into Fulton County's voters registration just about, 2-3 weeks ago? Because for the 2020 election, they are digging through that data for the 2020 election, and so they are checking and looking for fraud. So Fulton County already have a lot of heat on their back for people who come in and do fraud or trying to do fraud or suspected of fraud. So Fulton County is already going through enough without anybody else like Tiffany coming in saying that they are a resident of Fulton County when really they are a mayor and a supervisor of a whole nother state. But see, what Tiffany most likely did, my opinion, is when Tiffany noticed that she was getting ready to get booted out of the mayor's seat in Illinois and the supervisor seat in Illinois, she quickly scouted around in other states to see what positions was going to be available the following year so that she can apply for residency there and then say she's been there a whole year so she can enter whatever race is coming up that fits her and that fits the bag. Okay, whichever position got a high bag going on there, that's the position she will apply for. So when Tiffany was running back and forth to ATL, which we already talked about that, she was running back and forth from Illinois to ATL, Illinois to ATL. Told y'all she was scouting out the joint. My opinion, she was scouting out the joint, okay? Then when she realized, oh, in another year, they're going to have a commissioner seat that most likely gonna need to be open or somebody gonna need, or Tiffany just lay back and wait for the next available seat to come up, and then she gonna try to jump in the race with that. But she need to be a resident for a year. So she goes down to the ATL once she saw she was finna get booted out of the mayor's seat and the supervisor seat. She registered to vote and said Georgia was her primary residence and all that good stuff. And then after she filled all that stuff out, she ran her ass back to Illinois, where she is really a permanent resident at because she is a mayor and a supervisor. We will talk about that too, because Tiffany was a mayor and a supervisor, and under the law of Illinois, she can't be a mayor and a supervisor and a resident in a whole nother state. She has to be a resident of Illinois in order to hold that mayor and that supervisor position, okay? So even though she was booted out, in February, they voted her out, she still held those seats until May, 3 months after, almost 3 months after. February, March, April, May. Almost 3 months after she said she was a permanent resident down there in the ATL. Tiffany held that seat as mayor and supervisor for 3 months. Now, what Tiffany should have done once she got booted out of there is told the state of Illinois, hey, I ain't no resident here no more. I'm a resident of Georgia. So y'all can find somebody to replace my seat as mayor and supervisor until the other candidates get sworn into their seat. So y'all find a replacement for the 3 months because I'm gone, I'm a resident of Georgia. No, Tiffany didn't do that. Tiffany continued to make those people think, and she was a mayor at the village and a supervisor at the township and drawing checks for both of them until May. And then she told Georgia she was a resident of Georgia as well. Now, it don't work like that, G. That's considered scam. That's considered fraud. Yes. So as y'all see here up on the screen, that Fulton County have enough on their plate with voter fraud anyway. And as y'all see, the feds bust up in there, took all their election stuff, trying to investigate what was going on with the voting thing in 2020, okay? And now they are now talking about on these ATL streets about how Tiffany has said she was a resident of Fulton County, but she really was a mayor over there in Illinois. Wow. Just bringing up more voters' mess, okay? So, as y'all will see, in the state of Georgia, if you lie on that Georgia voter registry, makes it a felony offense to falsely register as a elector, okay? This can occur when a person registers as an elector voter knowing they do not pose the qualification required by law. And one of those requirements by law is that you're supposed to be a resident there, but you was a resident over in Illinois too, and running a mayor seat and running a supervisor seat, okay? Then it says it can also occur when the person knowingly gives false information when registering as an elector. Get the bumper cars out. Get the bumper cars out. Wow. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, Georgia don't play by lying on their voters' forms at all. They do not. I don't know how they do it over there in Illinois, but I do know down here in the dirty South, they don't play with that. Especially when they know it was intentionally done. Okay? Then, on top of that, especially when you intentionally did it, and then they look at your background to see, oh, well, maybe they did make a mistake, or maybe they have a history of scamming and frauding and doing all this. Tiffany have a history, so it's not going to work out too well for old baby girl. No, it's not, because she have a history down there in Illinois with a whole bunch of corrupt behavior. Yes. Yes. Now, how could Tiffany be in 2 seats at one time? We're just asking a question. How can Tiffany be in 2 seats at one time? Because see, these two here men on the screen were not and did not take office until May. Tiffany held the Dalton Township position, where you see Napoleon is at now. Tiffany held this position until May 2025. Jason took Tiffany's spot in May 2025, May 5th, 2025. Tiffany was still mayor in May. Up until May 5th, at least. 2 months after she registered to vote or registered down there in the Georgia, saying she was a resident there. You can't make this up. See, Tiffany I told y'all that people will come from up north, not all of them, but some of them will come from up north down in the dirty South and think the people in the South are ignorant. They think they're smarter than the people in the South. They think they outslick the people in the South, but no. I told y'all the people in the South have a hell of a lot of intelligence. And coming down here playing on their intelligence, it's going to turn left every time. Just like it's turning left right now. Because, see, those feds over there in Illinois are moving kind of slow, may I just say, respectfully. But I can guarantee you the feds in the South don't work that slow. They don't work that slow. Nah, they be on top game. They be on top game. You ain't finna run around here no 2-3 years and they ain't put their hands on you and brought you on into that investigation room. Nah, interrogation room. Nah, they ain't gonna let you wait that long. Not down in the South, they ain't. No. So, once again, how did Tiffany register to vote down there in the Georgia in February 2025 when she was already a permanent resident over there in the Illinois? As a mayor and supervisor. I'll wait. Can somebody tell me how she do that? We would like to know how you do that Houdini trick, Tiffany, where you could be at 3 places at one time. We would really like to know that, because a lot of us would like to be able to be at 3 places at one time. I know I do. I would like to be running my business and attending my grandbabies' functions when they have events and stuff like that. And I would like to be somewhere vacationing at the same time. So please let me know how I can do all 3 of them at one time. I can't. And you can't either. But you did it. Anyone giving false information on Georgia's voter registration will be considered having or guilty of a felony. Point blank, period. That's Georgia law. I just showed y'all. Yeah. So we trying to figure out how did Tiffany do that. Yeah, because see, Tiffany and Jason and Napoleon, because see, I'm quite sure Jason and Napoleon can vouch for, they didn't go in office until May. Tiffany was still mayor. Now, Tiffany did not say, hey, y'all, replace me. All right, she didn't tell the state of Illinois. She got to tell the state of Illinois in writing and all that. Hey, I'm leaving this, I'm vacating this seat. This seat as mayor and the seat as supervisor is now vacated. Y'all don't have to pay me no more. See, she should have said this in February when she trucked it down there in the ATL, talking about she was a permanent resident down there. What she should have did in Illinois was did a written thing to Illinois governor or government and said this seat is now vacated, started February 26, 2025. Y'all can find a replacement for my vacancy until the other 2 men get voted in May. And then they most likely would have told Jason and Napoleon, hey, yeah, if they granted Tiffany that request, then they would have told Jason and Napoleon, hey, y'all go ahead on, and instead of doing y'all swear in May, y'all need to go ahead on and do it now in February 26, 2025. And take that office because that seat is vacated and we don't want to leave the citizens with their city on autopilot because the seat is vacant and nobody is running the joint. That's the proper way to do it. But Tiffany didn't do it. She wanted to still get the supervisor check up until May. She still wanted to get the mayor's check until May. And then run down there in the ATL and say in February that she was a resident. You can't make it up. So that she can enter a race a year from that day. Unbelievable.
Curious about Ozempic or Wegovy, but not sure if your insurance covers it? That's where Ro comes in. Because let's be real, no one likes calling their insurance provider to see if their medication is covered, especially not for GLP-1s like Ozempic or Wegovy. Ro's Insurance Checker lets you know if you're covered for GLP-1s for free. Ro can help you understand if GLP-1s like Ozempic and Wegovy are right for you and your goals. But that's just the beginning. If you're eligible for GLP-1s and want to see if you're covered, all you have to do is submit your insurance card and Ro will take care of the rest. No paperwork, no negotiating, and no waiting on hold. Ro's free insurance checker will send you a comprehensive report of your coverage details so you can make a decision that's right for your goals and your budget. Plus, Ro members have support throughout the process. You'll have access to your provider on demand for any questions. Ro's got you covered because all of it sounds complicated. Where do I get it? How do I get it? How much? What do I do? Ro is taking out all the guesswork for you, so why not try it? Join the over 1 million people who trusted Ro to check their coverage for free.
So, how did that happen? How can Tiffany be a full-time resident of Fulton County in February 2026? How could she be even a resident? I don't care if she had the store down there and all that and put the store in her name and all that. She still was not there. Somebody else most likely was running that store, or the store was on autopilot because they said that the store was half-ass opening up anyway. Okay? So Tiffany was trying to be slick and smart. That's what it's giving. Okay? Now, she was still mayor in Dalton, and she was still supervisor in the township. So how could Tiffany, and she was a resident of Illinois, hardcore permanent resident. So how could she be a permanent resident in Georgia? Unless she lied. I'm just asking a question. How can she do it? Because the people down there in the ATL is saying it's fraud. The voter registry forms say it's fraud. Yeah. Because if you see right here, it says Dalton swears in new mayor ending Tiffany's scandalous probe tenure. Okay, so but y'all will see that the date on that is March 5th. I mean May 5th. Right here. May 5th is when Jason got sworn in. Tiffany was mayor up until, in Illinois, up until May 5th. So how was she registering to vote down there in Fulton County, saying that that was her permanent residence? We're just asking the question. Yeah. And y'all will see there that in May as well, Henyard, a no-show for her final meeting as Dalton Township Supervisor. That was 10 months ago. That was 10 months ago. Y'all see it highlighted. That was 10 months ago. Tiffany was still supervisor of Dalton Township. Yes, that was the article 10 months ago. Tiffany was a resident of Illinois. At least that's what she let Illinois think. That's what she was getting paid there as supervisor. Yeah, she went all the way till she got her last checks up there until she left out in May 5th. So she was getting a mayor's check and a supervisor check in Illinois, and then she was in the ATL opening up a store, trying to get little duckies up out that store, but she needed to say that she run that store in order to say that she wanted to be a resident at Fulton County because she could use the store to say, yeah, I got a business here. I live here. I'm a permanent resident here. Yeah, I'm here. But in all actuality, she was running a whole nother state. Wow. Okay. And in the state of Illinois, they also say that you have to be a resident of Illinois in order to hold a mayor and a supervisor position, a political position, especially mayor and supervisor of a township. You have to be a resident there to even have those positions. And Tiffany was drawing a check from Illinois February, March, April, all the way up to May 5th. Which means she was a permanent resident for Illinois. And she could also get in trouble with Illinois. Not only just Georgia for saying she was a permanent resident there and she really wasn't. She was running the whole state. According to the Illinois law that y'all see right up there, she could also get in trouble for running those positions all the way up to May and wasn't a resident there. She said she was a resident of Georgia. You can't make this up. So both states can really put Tiffany in a pickle. Because Illinois, she was required to be a resident there. But according to Georgia's voter registration, Tiffany said she was a resident there, not Illinois. Okay? Then, on the flip side, the Georgia state, you are not fully a resident in Georgia, but you said you was, because you was running a whole political position in the state of Illinois until May. But you put on Georgia registration that you was there in February. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. So actually, it's fraud on both states. But see, Illinois moves slow, respectfully. You know, I can tell you now, the South won't move that slow. Yes. And as you see right here, it also says that more than a temporary removal of residents from the municipality, okay? Which meaning that, or in the case of an alderman of a ward, of a councilman, or a trustee of the district, more than temporary removal. What it's saying there is what I told y'all earlier. Tiffany should have put in a temporary order of removal in February 26 or 27 when she called herself registering in Georgia as a permanent resident. She should have told Illinois, hey, I'm vacating this seat as of today, and y'all need to find a replacement because I have now vacated this seat. Then they wouldn't have paid Tiffany all the way to May. They would have probably granted her request, and that mayor seat would have been vacant in February 2027. That supervisor seat would have been vacant. And then by Napoleon and Jason was already won the race, but not supposed to get sworn into May, they most likely would have eased their time to get sworn in February so that the township and the village won't be left without a mayor or a supervisor. And their city or their village won't be running on autopilot without anyone attending to it. Yeah. So see, that's the law down there. Now, Tiffany was drawing in $224,000 for the township supervisor position, and she was drawing in $46,000 for the mayor position. So Tiffany still got her paycheck for February, March, April, and most likely for that 1 week of May she did. But she said she was a resident of Georgia. How does that work? That's fraud. That's what it's given. So that is the 104 General Assembly of Illinois. Is that Tiffany was supposed to be a full-time resident in Illinois in order for her to still have her name as mayor or supervisor. It don't matter if she got booted out of there in February. She still was supposed to run her township and her village until those two got sworn in around May 5th. Her name was still all over the place. She still was considered the mayor of Dalton. She still was considered the supervisor of the township. But you let Tiffany say it. She's a resident of Georgia, which violates both states' laws. Boy, sometimes you can think you're so smart. Sometimes you can think you're so smart till you're not. Till you're not. Unbelievable. So, it's given that Tiffany lied on her voter's registration form, which is a felony down there in Georgia. Yes, and they said it's against the law down there in the state of Illinois as well. Because wasn't Tiffany receiving a check in Dalton in the township up until she left office? Yeah, most likely yes. And this is evident that the hen was not a resident of Georgia, but she said she was. Not being a mayor and a supervisor of a whole nother state of Illinois. So it's given that she lied, scammed, frauded the Georgia voter system. And the people in Georgia are talking about it real hard right about now. Yes, they are. See, they're not as ignorant as Tiffany might have thought they were. Because Illinois FBI might not be as slow as the FBI in Illinois, respectfully. Okay? But she's still under investigation. Yes. Tiffany has a history of scamming and fraud in the government, just all kind of scam behavior and fraud behavior and all that stuff. And a lot of people in Georgia is not feeling it. Not feeling it at all. And they got to looking into the day that Tiffany called herself registering in Georgia and when she was still mayor and supervisor in Illinois.
Hey Atlanta, visit the Wayfair store at the District in Howell Mill. Coming soon.
At Dollar Shave Group, we don't care about celebrities. Or character consistency.
Relieve flu-like symptoms with oscillococcinum. It's nature's #1 flu medicine. The tiny pellets dissolve in your mouth with no water needed. The flu can strike anytime. That's why oscillococcinum is easy to take wherever you go. Be ready at the first sign of flu-like symptoms.
Just didn't add up. Just didn't add up. Now we see why it didn't add up. So, like I said, this whole thing with her running for the commissioner's seat is rejected before it even gets started. Because believe you me, they are bringing this up. Might not be all in the spotlight and in the news right now, but it will because it's hard and heavy on the streets. Because a lot of people in Georgia and ATL done called me and said, check this out, what everybody talking about. What? And then they started showing me some proof. I said, well, I'll be damned. I'm not surprised, though, because that's Tiffany's behavior. Yes, that's the hen's behavior. Tiffany was mayor and supervisor in Illinois in February 2025, March 2025, April 2025, and stopped May 5th. That's damn near 3 whole months that she called herself gonna tell Georgia she a resident there. But she a whole resident in Illinois. Wow. Wow. Tiffany done put herself in that quicksand trying to outsmart Georgia residents and trying to outsmart Illinois residents, it looks, because she was taking their money, so-called supposed to be mayor and all that, but she down in the ATL telling them people she ain't no resident of Illinois, she a resident of Georgia. What? Unbelievable. She was not supposed to register as on that voter thing in ATL and holding a mayor position in Illinois and holding a supervisor position in Illinois. It's against Illinois law and it's against Georgia law. She wasn't supposed to lie on that Georgia form. And when you knowingly lie, just like I just showed y'all, it's considered a felony. A felony for up to 10 years in jail or $100,000 fine or both. Yes. Yes. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. See, I'm going to tell you, Tiffany violated both laws and regulations, allegedly. That's what is given. Yes. To Georgia, lied. To Illinois, looked like she lied. Yeah. Because, see, she was holding that mayor seat and that supervisor seat, but she said she was a resident of Georgia. Okay? So, which Illinois is saying, no, 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 before you do that by law, you need to tell the state that you vacate that seat or those seats so that they can get those vacated seats seated. She didn't do that. That's a violation of Illinois. Then on Georgia, she told them she was a resident there, but she really wasn't because she was actually mayor and supervisor in a whole nother state. Yeah. But see, welcome to Georgia, Tiffany. Welcome to the dirty South, okay? Because now you see that the South is not as dumb as you thought they were. No, they wasn't. You come down here with those slick shenanigans, okay? City slicks the shenanigans and all that stuff, smelling like skunk meat juice. We not playing it. We not hearing it. They not playing it. And the sad part is, I told that hen that the South is very smart. Now you see why they call it the dirty, dirty South, Tiffany. Because they play ball dirty when you come down here trying to be slick and scam and fraud with corrupt behavior, with scam behavior. Yes, they play dirty ball. That's why they call it the dirty, dirty South. You ain't know? I just told you so. But anyway, it looks like things in the ATL will be turning left real quick for Tiffany, for that hen. I told that hen she wasn't no peach. I told her she was a rotten apple. See, Tiffany, you flew here. We are rooted here. You can't just come up in here and think that you can just play little games and slick games and stuff like that. And wasn't nobody gonna notice that, or wasn't nobody gonna look into that. Yes, because a person like you need to be checked out. Because of your history anyway. So, if Tiffany lied on that voter registry, Georgia will not let it slide. They done already said it. Because that means she is trying to scam 4 women who honestly are running. Honestly running. Honestly doing things the right way. And Tiffany done come up in there and stunk up the joint just so she could try to take a seat out from under them, but not in the correct way. That's what it's given. It looks like she's scamming her way in those positions by saying she was a resident there for a year, and she really wasn't, because she was a resident in Illinois running a mayor's seat and a supervisor's seat. But now you got these 4 women that have to go up against Tiffany when Tiffany really shouldn't even be in the race anyway. That's what it's given. That's what it's given. How is Tiffany in these 3 places at one time in February 27th, March 27th, April 27th, okay, in 2025? How was Tiffany in all three of these places at one time? Please let me know. How was she a resident of Georgia in February 2025 and a resident of Dalton running as mayor? Y'all see right there, Mayor Tiffany Henyard, February 27, 2025. And then the township supervisor, February 27, 2025, all the way up until May 2025. So how was she a resident of ATA, Georgia? I'll wait. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And if Tiffany wasn't eligible to register to vote in Fulton County, that means she's not eligible to run for Fulton County Commissioner seat. Rejected. How quickly things can turn around and turn left for criminal behaved people. Yes. Yeah, welcome to Georgia. Welcome to Georgia. Because, see, Georgia will be on top of your head about all this fraud and stuff. See, Illinois is kind of corrupt. That's a corrupt state. That's all they basically know and do. But when you come down here in the South, that's not what we do. And they busting people left and right for this. And they're not letting them slide. You might want to check out the news articles on Fonnie Willis and her home baby cake, Nathan Wade. And you and Kamal gonna be the same way, fooling around with that Georgia voter registry, because it sure smell like skunk meat. Yes. And 10-day-old bucket of chitlins. Yes. Now, these ladies here are running honestly. They really are. They are running honestly. And for Tiffany to try to dunk her way on the real Georgia peaches. These are real Georgia peaches, not you, Tiffany, okay? These are rooted Georgia peaches, okay? But for Tiffany to come in and duke all over these women who are running fairly, she come to the ATL with skunk meat baggage, forcing the women to spend unnecessary money on campaigns going against Tiffany, who looks like allegedly not even supposed to be in this race, okay? Who most likely shouldn't have even been able to put her name on the Republican ticket for the commissioner seat. So she just come in and deboned her way to knock these ladies out of the race. And these ladies are doing everything the proper way. And rooted here, may I add. But then if you look at Tiffany's thing, it looks like it's full of skunk meat. So she's going to make it hard for these original Georgia peaches to get a spot. She's going to come in from Illinois with all this corrupt behavior and suspect voters registration into a race that says she's been here a year, but according to the documents, Tiffany was a whole mayor and supervisor in a whole nother state. These women were not. These women were really inside of Georgia, helping the community, fighting for the community, doing so many things for the community. Truthfully. And they put their name in the hat to run for a seat that's open. And then here comes somebody with corrupt behavior, suspect voters registration, trying to boot them up out of the commissioner race so that they can get their corrupt behavior next to the $10 billion bag that Fulton County has. Because that's the type of bag Fulton County has. Look it up. Fulton County has about 10 billion, not mil, billion in it. So Tiffany gonna cut all corners and try to knock these original rooted Georgia peaches out the way so that she can get to her bag. That's what it's given. How trifling. Wow. Tiffany done started a whole big mess down here in Georgia, pulling these stunts. But I can tell you right now, these ladies ain't gonna take too kindly to it because most of them most likely have already reported this. Yeah, they most likely have already reported this right here because as you see, these are the ladies, these are the 4 ladies that's running up against Tiffany. Yeah, these are the 4 ladies that's running up against Tiffany, who has done everything the right way, who has been residents of Fulton County and Georgia for a long time, rooted down there, all that. And here come Tiffany, trying to put her name in the hat for a Republican. But it don't look like in a legit way. That's what it's given. That's what it's given. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. So, as y'all will see, this is what people talking about down here in the ATL now, is that the superintendent, upon his or her own motion, may challenge the qualifications of any candidate referred to in subsection A of this code section at any time prior to the election of such candidate, meaning that they can challenge and report this here about Tiffany being a mayor and a supervisor and a resident of Illinois, February 27th, the same time she said she was a resident of Georgia. And they have up to within 2 weeks after the deadline for qualifying any elector who is eligible to vote for any such candidate may challenge the qualifications of the candidate by filing a written complaint with the superintendent, giving the reason why the elector believes the candidate is not qualified to seek and hold the public office for which the candidate is offering. Upon his or her own motion or upon a challenge being filed, the superintendent shall notify the candidate in writing that his or her qualifications are being challenged, and the reason therefore, and shall advise the candidate that he or she is setting a hearing on the matter, and shall be informed the candidate of the date, time, and place of the hearing. So,
over 90 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms trust Bill to simplify and secure bill pay. That's proven financial infrastructure built on over $1 trillion of secure payments. Visit bill.com/proven for a special offer.
Nature fuels what we're made of. Soft, flaky, naturally crisp. Only organic ingredients can create a bite like this.
We owe you an apology, a massive one. We're truly sorry for creating a solar generator that makes you feel almost too smug during a blackout. It has come to our attention that some poor Patriots customers are now watching the big game with a cold drink while the rest of the neighborhood sits in the dark. And we're sorry your neighbors didn't get the message. Now they have to listen to a loud gas motor at midnight.
The Patriot Power Generator 2200X is our most powerful unit ever. It's fume-free and safe to use right inside your home.
It runs your fridge, your lights, and even life-saving medical devices. We also apologize for forcing you to take a free 200-watt solar panel, a free storage card, and a 3-year warranty when you try it today. Don't be the one sitting in the dark. Click the link below to claim your peace of mind now.
ladies and residents of ATL can put in written requests to superintendent to say that Tiffany is not qualified and this is why they think she is not. So far, the word out here on these conservative streets in ATL family, the word is real deep here in ATL, saying that a lot of people have already filled this out. Okay, now that's what I heard. I don't know how true it is, but they do say a lot of people have already filled this out, and a lot of people are already reporting it. Okay, just to look into it, so Tiffany can fuck up more papers, producing and receipts showing that she wasn't mayor in February 27, 2025, that she wasn't supervisor in the Thornton Township in Illinois in 2025, that she wasn't none of that. She was a resident over here in Georgia. But you know, Tiffany don't like to fork up receipts. She don't like to fork up receipts. But a lot of people say that they are going to challenge it, but they only have 2 weeks to do so. They only have 2 weeks to challenge this, you know. And, you know, that was February 27th, 2026, when Tiffany put her name in the hat. 2 weeks from that day is when the people can put in to challenge her running her name in the hat, you know, which is, it's probably ain't but 3 days left now, if that. Okay, but a lot of people, when I talked to them a couple of days ago, they were saying that a lot of people already did it and they want it to be challenged and things like that. Okay, because something smells like skunk meat in this whole thing. But what I can say is, like I said before, if Tiffany committed this voter fraud and told Georgia that she was a resident there and she really wasn't, I can tell you now, those FBI in Georgia are not going to move as slow as the FBI in Illinois. Respectfully saying that. Okay? They will not. Because they already got a big problem now going on in Fulton County about voter fraud, and that's why they bust in the voters' office place and took out documents from 2020 to look at some of the voter things to see if the people really exist, to see all this kind of mess. So they already got voter problem, fraud allegedly going on, confiscated from the feds and all that. And here come Tiffany with this here city slickster shenanigans. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. So, Tiffany done started a whole big mess down there, and the word on the street is some people will be reporting this in the District 5 area of Fulton County. Yes, they say they will. Now, I won't be surprised. Welcome to Georgia, Tiffany. They ain't as crazy as you thought they was, huh? They ain't as slow as you thought they was. They ain't as ignorant as you thought they was. Now, my thing is, I won't be surprised if Tiffany jump on her social media trying to change and walk back. Oh, I really wasn't trying to be no commissioner. I just put my name in the hat to see if I could do it. I really wasn't going to do it. See, Tiffany going to try to backtrack and going to try to give excuses on, oh, nah, I really wasn't trying to get that position. I just put my name in the hat to see can I qualify. But no, I'm not trying to get no position right now and all that stuff. But it's tripping me out that how Tiffany has been bragging for the past month about how she has to educate still the people in Dalton about how to vote. And then she down here with suspect Georgia voters registration form. What? How you gonna educate the people back off in Dalton, first of all, that you left in a deep, deep hardship? How you gonna educate them? You the reason why they in the debt they in now. But you gonna educate. And it just trips me out that it's some people that she claimed are listening to her. Okay? But at the same time, she got stank going on down here in Georgia right now about suspected fraud. That it don't look right. It smells like skunk meat. And they want people, the superintendent, they want the big dogs to look at it. And they want Tiffany to fuck up receipts, verifying that she was definitely a resident in Georgia and she wasn't a resident in Illinois. Well, if she do that, she gonna have a problem with Illinois because she was still getting a check and all that stuff and said she was a mayor, said she was supervisor, was still holding them seats and all that, still getting their checks, still getting the taxpayer money and all that, but she